Hi there, my friends call me Jules, and I want to thank you so much for joining me on the Jules for Jesus podcast, where we talk real life Christianity. Have you ever hit that moment where you just wanted to cry out, I can't take this anymore? Like the car breaks down, your inbox is overflowing, someone says that thing that tips you over the edge, and suddenly it's not just a bad day, it's too much. You've reached your breaking point and you don't know whether to cry, to break something, or just check out entirely. Today, I want to talk about those moments where you reach the end of yourself. Not in a dramatic movie scene kind of way necessarily, although those are certainly the most fun, but in the quiet, aching, I can't stand it any longer sort of way. And if you've been there, or if you are there right now, I want to say, me too. But if that's not comforting to you, let me tell you who also felt this way. Paul. Yes, that Paul. Bold, faithful, loved by God, who wrote half the New Testament, Paul. He said those exact words. We could stand it no longer. So today, we are going there. We're going to talk about what to do when you've had enough, when you're at the end of your strength, and why that moment might just be the beginning of something sacred. You're listening to the Jules for Jesus podcast. I'm Jules, and this space is all about bringing faith into the challenges and beauty of real life. Whether you're walking through heartbreak, financial stress, rejection, or just feeling a little lost, I want you to know that you're not alone. I've been there too. This podcast is about honest conversations, real encouragement, and creating a community that seeks God together. My hope is that through my story, Jesus touches yours. So let's pause, invite Jesus into this moment, and take the next step forward together. This is Jules. Welcome to a safe space where you can come as you are, where you will not be judged, and where you and I can breathe, believe, and walk with Jesus. So the other day, I came across this line in 1 Thessalonians 3 verse 1. Paul writes, "So when we could stand it no longer." And something about that line just hit home for me. Because haven't we all felt that way at some point? Back in chapter 2, Paul's talking about how deeply he wanted to be with the people he loved. He says they felt orphaned by being separated, and that he made every effort to get back to them, but that Satan blocked his way. And that, wow, that's a feeling I think we can all relate to. You're trying to do the right thing. You're praying, pushing forward, showing up. And then out of nowhere, roadblocks, resistance, setbacks, doors close, plans fall apart. But here's the thing. Paul didn't check out. He didn't sit in the frustration. He made plans to get around this setback, and he didn't give up. Paul sent Timothy to spread the gospel on his behalf, and he found a way forward. He stayed focused. He kept going. I certainly can relate to these moments of setback. Private, deeply personal moments where it felt like everything in me was being stripped away and I could stand it no longer. And what held me? Paul's words, imitate me. Not because he was perfect, but because he kept walking. And I've clung to that. Not just in the big spiritual moments, but in very real human ones too. Like the day I had to do a presentation at work, one I had poured weeks into, one that my future working life depended on, only for everything to fall apart that morning. My laptop crashed, my notes were gone, the nerves hit hard, and suddenly all I could think was, I can't do this. It felt like all my preparation, all my effort had been wasted. But just before I walked into that boardroom, I opened my Bible, looking for anything really. And there it was, Paul's words in 1 Corinthians 11. Imitate me because I also imitate Christ. And something clicked. I thought, I'm not brave enough to go in there as Jules, but I can go in like Paul, because I knew he imitated Christ. I could follow in those footsteps. So I did just that. I walked into that boardroom not in my own strength, but with the courage that comes from faith. And it worked. Not because everything went perfectly, but because I showed up. I didn't quit. And honestly, I've carried that moment with me ever since. Because once you learn what it means to lean on God like that, really lean, it starts to shape how you show up in other battles too. Sometimes it's in a boardroom. Other times it's on a dirt trail in the middle of nowhere, trying to finish what you started. Yes, I'm talking about a mountain bike race. So a few years ago, I entered the 96-kilometer Karoo to Coast off-road mountain bike race from Uniondale to Knysna, across the Kamanasi Mountains. I trained hard. I was strong, but I trained completely in the wrong way, mostly indoors, and it was my first race ever. So when it came time for the real thing, the heat, the terrain, the grit, I wasn't ready. At kilometer 86, I hit a wall, legs cramping, tears slipping down my dusty cheeks, and then I saw it, this road sign, danger ahead. It was like that same choice I faced in the boardroom. Do I keep going or do I sit this one out? So I stopped. I called my kids, and when a photographer offered me a chair and a beer, I took both. And I don't even drink beer. But at that moment, I quit. 10 kilometers from the finish line. And to this day, I regret it, because I could have made it. And that's why Paul's words hit me differently now. He says, I wanted to be sure I wasn't running or laboring in vain. Because this life, it's a race. And not just any race. A purposeful one that requires training, like Paul says in 1 Corinthians 9. Everyone who competes in the games goes into strict training. Therefore, I do not run like someone running aimlessly. I do not fight like a boxer beating the air. We're not running aimlessly. We are running with intention. And when you're being struck down from every side, slandered, misunderstood, exhausted, Paul reminds us in 2 Corinthians 4 that we are hard pressed on every side but not crushed, perplexed but not in despair, persecuted but not abandoned, struck down but not destroyed. And he encourages us by saying, therefore we do not lose heart. Though outwardly we are wasting away, yet inwardly we are being renewed day by day. For our light and momentary troubles are achieving for us an eternal glory that far outweighs them all. So we fix our eyes not on what is seen, but on what is unseen. For what is seen is temporary, but what is unseen is eternal. So if you're in a I can't stand it anymore kind of season, hold on. Don't quit 10 kilometers from the finish line, because believe you me, you will regret it. So what do we do when we really can't stand it anymore? We imitate Paul. We keep going. We keep our eyes fixed on Jesus. We hold on to him. And in the meantime, he promises to watch over us, provide for us, and guide our paths. I find hope here, and I pray you do too. We've come to the end of our episode, and I want to thank you so much for spending time with me on Jules for Jesus. I hope you're encouraged, knowing that I'm just like you, navigating life's struggles with God's guidance. And perhaps, if you forgot, I want to tell you that Jesus loves you so much. And remember that even when life feels messy or uncertain, God is always at work, shaping something meaningful and good out of every moment. And hey, if something in today's episode spoke to you, if it reminded you of someone you love or care about, please go ahead and share this episode with them. Let's not leave anyone behind. Let's not keep the good news of the gospel to ourselves. Let's keep inviting others in so that no one walks alone, and so our love for Jesus becomes something others can catch on to, one heart at a time. Until next time, take good care of yourself. Keep seeking God in the little things and trust that He's got a purpose for your journey. This is Jules. You are not alone, and I'll be waiting right here for you when you click play on the next episode.